guys, and welcome to Besterday, where nostalgia reigns supreme. I'm Bianca, and I'm the ultimate 90s baby. But before we get started, I have a special guest co-host, and this is her first time on Besterday. So welcome, and your name is...
Rachel Sonis.
Yay! Okay, so Rachel and I, we intern at Idolater at separate times, and then we worked for Idolater at separate times.
Yeah.
So...
But we're Idolater alumni.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah. So we go way back.
Way back.
Yeah. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm stoked too.
Yeah. So before we get started, guys, as you know, I say this every week. Besterday is a podcast where we reminisce on songs that had your heart, the movies that made you laugh, and everything pop culture from the 80s to the early aughts. So I'm trying to think, like Sonic the Hedgehog, like staying up like early Saturday mornings to watch like Recess.
Bratz dolls, Furbies,
yes,
Polly Pockets.
Do you know those dolls that like you pressed a button and they started like spinning and flying?
Dude, what
was
are
the name of those dolls?
They looked like Barbies.
Yeah, but like I used to like I used to spin them and like try to make them hit my brother.
Oh, me too. Me too. I tried to do that with I think my sister as well.
Yeah, it was so bad. But yeah, guys, let me know if you remember the name. I can't think of it right now, but the doll that we're talking about. That's also very classic.
Let's find the doll.
Yes. So make sure to hashtag Besterday on Twitter and Instagram and wherever you please, and also rate us on iTunes and follow myself, Bianca and Rogue, on Twitter. And what's your Twitter handle?
Rachel Sonis 1.
Don't forget that one. Very important.
It's very because I'm the only one.
Yes, girl. All right, so let's kick it off with this week in history. There's a lot of like birthdays and divorce.
A lot of things happening on April 24th.
Yeah, a very sad week in Hollywood history. But first up, April 24th, 1942, Barbra Streisand was born.
A star was
born. So putty.
Honestly, you know, we often use queen and icon very we use it all the time. Yeah.
Especially
but this woman for real.
Like she's an actual icon.
Do you know that photo where she is sitting in this like red dress with
all the flowers?
Yeah, it recently became a meme and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's how we need to remember Barbra.
Oh, for sure. I think she turned 75. Which she doesn't look it.
No.
Like she's
not at all.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Barbs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Bab is the shit.
She is. And also April 24th, 1982, Kelly Clarkson was born.
Another star.
So many legends.
I know. So little time.
Can't get enough. And April 24th, 1992, we're just going down the list, guys. David Bowie and Iman, they got married in Switzerland.
What a couple.
Yes. We're talking about just endless legends today.
Yeah.
I love it. And April 24th, again, 2007, Whitney and Bobby Brown, they divorced after 14 years of marriage.
Wow.
Citing I can't speak. What is it? Irreconcilable?
Yeah.
I can never say that
irreconcilable.
word. Yeah.
Differences. Yeah. Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah. But we know the real story.
We know what you did.
Yeah. And April 25th, 2002, Lisa Lopez of TLC, she passed away. Yeah. That's 15 years, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to think that even, Prince, this is the 1 year anniversary of Prince's.
Like things are just going by way too fast.
It's crazy.
It's so sad.
Nuts.
But so next up, April 25th, 2009, my personal faves, Spencer and Heidi Pratt.
Spidey.
Spidey. They got married. They celebrated their 8th anniversary yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I shouted them out on Twitter, and okay, guys, if you don't know this, if you don't follow me on Twitter, Spencer and I are Twitter BFFs, and we talk all the time. So I wish them happy anniversary yesterday. Well,
Spencer Pratt's Snapchat is just...
It is epic. If you don't follow him, you really should, because you're missing out. All he does is eat burritos
and drink a lot of espresso.
Yeah, and he does jujitsu.
Yeah, rates us weekly and whatever else, other magazines. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, guys, definitely get your life and follow both Spencer and Heidi on Snapchat. They're so awesome. And finally, April 28th, 2002. Let me know if you remember this TV series. So it's called Caitlin's Way. And it was like it happened in the middle of like the whole Degrassi era.
Oh, that's probably where I was, because I missed Caitlin's
I mean,
Way.
Degrassi was like huge, but Caitlin's Way was, it had this like similar themes like teen angst and like just growing up in high school.
Probably would have loved it, but I was, you know,
you're a Degrassi all the way.
You know, I'm here. The OG Aubrey Drake Graham fan.
Oh my god, when he was in that wheelchair,
wheelchair Jimmy. Shout out.
So if you guys don't know, but I hope you do, Caitlin's Way, it was all about Caitlin, duh. So she
and
was
her
like,
way.
She basically lived like on the streets of Philly, but she loved horses. Like in the theme song, like in the video clip, she's like riding a billion horses
in the middle of Philly,
like on a farm, I guess.
Oh, okay, so
like not like actually like on the streets, but like somewhere outside the city, I guess. But yeah, so like she got arrested. She's like a troubled youth, so she got taken in with her mom. And then, so she moved to Montana. I'm like literally reading Wikipedia right now because I do not remember the whole premise.
So wait, she was in Philly and then she moved to
Montana to live with her mom because she was just getting into too much trouble. So it kind of like basically like follows her journey, like as she goes from the city life to the country life and like all the shenanigans she gets into. Basically, I watched the show because the reason I'm talking about it is because it ended on TV in 2002. Oh. So it ended 15 years ago.
Again, wow.
Yeah, so if you guys were like super emo like me, you probably watched. All right, so we're going to kick it off with the nostalgic news segment. So first up, actually I haven't talked about reboots in a while, but we have 3 to talk about today. Whoa. So guys, hold on to your seats because there's a lot.
Yes.
All right, so first up is The Lion King. I think I revealed I think 3 episodes ago, the Selena episode, that they're going to have a Lion King remake, and they finally found their Timon and Pumbaa.
That's awesome.
Allegedly. It's not like confirmed yet. Because in like the Hollywood world is always like, oh, so-and-so is in talks with so-and-so. Yeah. It's never like legit.
Yeah.
But sources confirm, like say that Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, they're going to be Timon and Pumbaa.
It's a good duo. I really like that duo. I want Billy Eichner to bring like Billy on the like the neuroses of Billy on the street to Timon's character. That would be wild.
I agree too. And I feel like this will be like a great step in the right direction because they already have Donald Glover as Simba. James Earl Jones is coming back to voice Mufasa.
Yeah, and if they get Beyonce as Nala,
I would die.
I think,
I would die.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
I just want them to sing Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Can you feel the love tonight? Such a sexy song.
I know. I recently watched the Broadway show and I was like, damn.
Really? I watched the Broadway show when I was in 6th grade, I think. Yeah. It's been on Broadway forever.
Yes. Like for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's one of the longest running ones, I think.
Yeah, but it's so worth it. Like it's such a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so so Lion King, it actually has a release date now.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Mark your calendars, guys. So it's coming out on July 19th, 2019.
Cool. 2 years in advance.
2 years, but I mean,
but we're ready. We have enough time to get ready.
Yeah. You have to be prepared
to put your masks and everything together.
Because like I feel it's gonna be epic because Jon Favreau, he directed the Jungle Book last year, so he's coming back for this one. So it's like it has to be amazing because he did a good job with that one.
I think it'll be pretty great.
I agree. All right, so next up in reboot news, it's never gonna die, people. Just hold on to it. But so there's a live action Aladdin remake.
Wow, they're really just doing
Disney just being lazy. They're just like they're not making anything like fresh. They're just like, oh, let me remake this movie that came out in 1938. Like
wow,
because like there's gonna be a Dumbo remake.
I loved Dumbo.
There's gonna be a 101 Dalmatians remake.
What?
Lion King, Aladdin. I think The Little Mermaid. I want to say Little Mermaid.
Wow,
and they just did.
So they just ran out of ideas.
Yeah, and they just did Beauty and the Beast. So it's just like the wheel just keeps on churning.
I know.
But for the Aladdin remake, Will Smith is actually in talks to play the genie.
Wow.
See, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I don't know either. Just because I felt like Robin Williams' character was so
like timeless.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was.
It's
super
hard.
untouchable.
It's This is gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah,
I think.
But I mean, Will Smith. He's also a legend, and like he's so funny.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air becomes the genie.
Oh yeah. So that would be interesting. I mean, if he does land the role, because I'm still not confirmed yet, it'll be interesting to see like how he like makes it his own.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like we're always gonna associate Robin Williams with the genie, so it'd be interesting to see like how he
his take on
yeah. But yeah, guys, #Besterday. Let us know if you're down with this idea of Will Smith becoming the genie.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, okay, so O-Town dropped a new song.
What? Also, honestly, I kind of missed the O-Town train, I feel like, and just went on the went on like the Ashley Parker Angel
Express train. You didn't miss much.
Yeah. So. Well, I just went on the Ashley Parker Angel Express.
Yeah, as we all should.
I just went to the pop punk Ashley Parker Angel, like Let You Go. That was
oh my god,
very angsty kind of thing.
Yeah, so. But okay, so these guys, if you don't know, they're of All or Nothing and Liquid Dreams, history. But yeah, they have a new song out, and it's called Empty Space. Because they're coming out with a new album. So I listened to it, and I was like, is this Justin Bieber?
Oh wow.
So it sounds like, not in a shady way, but it sounds like it came off the cutting room floor of Purpose. Like it's very like more on like the dancey side of Purpose. But it didn't sound like O-Town. It sounded like they're trying to portray someone else.
Well, it's 2017. I feel like they're trying to get
those young girls interested, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they're all back together, but except for Ashley Parker Angel. So
obviously.
Yeah. He's like doing his own thing. He has his own music out. He's like starring on Broadway. He was in Hairspray.
What?
Yeah. Like back in the day. Like not recently.
Okay.
But
I was like, what?
But yeah, so if you guys heard the new O-Town song, let me know what you think of it. I'm personally not a huge fan, but I won't judge you if you are.
With an air of judgment.
Yeah. I'm super shady. I can't help it. But so the guys, okay, so I was reading Billboard, and they did like this huge like the best choruses of the 21st century thing. And they spoke to O-Town about their classic All or Nothing song.
Right.
Yeah, and they kind of said that like they think that's one of their best songs. Mm-hmm. And my god, sorry, people keep texting me, leave me alone.
You're so popular.
I know, I'm super popular. I need like an assistant. But so they said it's like a great song to like sing when they're drunk. Like it's a good like karaoke song, which I thought was super funny. Yeah, and they said basically Eric Estrada, he said that he thinks it's the last big boy band song of that era, of like the era of like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
What's your opinion on that? Do you think so?
No. Basically, I don't feel like O-Town was that big compared to like who was out at that time. Like,
right.
They weren't that poppin'. I don't think. I mean, this is coming from the huge NSYNC stan.
Yeah,
so I'm very biased.
Me too. So
was it the last big boy band song of that era?
I don't know.
I have to think about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, let me know if you agree with that, because I don't. As of now, I don't agree with that statement.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to yet another reboot because it doesn't stop, people.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Stop. All right, so Carmen Sandiego is coming back.
Wow.
Yeah, Netflix picked it up. It's going to be a reboot, and it's going to star Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin. Her. Yeah, and Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
That's
so they
awesome.
They already have a great cast.
Yeah,
so
that'll be kind of exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually hyped for this because I was a big Carmen Sandiego fan when I was younger. So Netflix ordered 22-minute episodes, 20 of them. Wow. And it is going to be, it's going to be an animated series. I thought it was going to be live action. But yeah, animated series where they're going to voice the characters. And it'll come out sometime in 2019. They didn't confirm the date yet.
Planting the seeds 2 years in the van.
Planning ahead,
2
people.
years in advance.
You got to get ready.
Yeah.
And finally, TRL is coming back, kind of.
Wait.
Yeah. All right.
Wait.
So are you ready for this?
Wait.
Let's just like take a moment for this, because this is like an actual big deal. But yeah, it celebrated its 10-year anniversary this year, and Us Weekly reports that MTV is going to be bringing back that same vibe of like speaking about pop culture and like music videos and stuff, but it's not going to be called Total Request Live. It's going to be called MTV Live.
Okay.
So the president stated that ability to be live in culture, not responding to it, but driving it, is where we belong. And the show is going to be debuting on June 12th of this year, and it'll be set in the Times Square studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed TRL.
Same.
So
that was like a big part of my childhood growing up.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm down for this idea. I feel like it would be cool because like it'll bring back, I mean, you know, that nostalgic vibe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a good idea for them, because I feel like MTV is just, they've strayed so much away from actual music.
Well, yeah, they're mostly, you know, reality TV shows,
and like,
right?
Yeah, that's basically it. So this would be like a good
yeah, I mean, they just developed the MTV Classics channel, which is cool, but this would be a whole new
it'd be nice to see it on like the actual MTV channel. But they said it's going to run for like 3 to 4 hours, so I'm like, what are you going to do? Time? Yeah. So I'm like, what are you going to do in that time? So maybe they're going to just show music videos, or like, are they going to have guests on it? They didn't announce any hosts yet, so it's still like fairly fresh, but we'll see when it premieres in June 12th.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it, because I mean, I love TRL. I'm trying to think of like some dope TRL moments. The first thing that comes to mind is when Mariah Carey came on. She's like rolling her ice cream cart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like this like pre-breakdown Mariah.
Oh my gosh.
But that was a classic moment.
There's way too many.
Like J-Lo was on there a lot. I love when J-Lo was on, when Aaliyah was on, Britney, of course. A lot of great moments with TRL.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are gathered here today to talk about
drum roll, please.
The Arctic Monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I was teasing this because I mean, I'm not like dropping an album, but I figured I was like, so this is actually pretty cool because this is the first episode where I'm not talking about like pop music.
Wow. Really?
So this is so
interesting.
I know, this is like a big deal for me, because
we come from like pop music.
I know, because like I mean, I always talk about Britney, Christina, NSYNC, Ashanti, Aaliyah, like Hilary Duff, but this is like the first non-pop episode. So I mean, round of applause for me for breaking out. But if you guys don't know, the Arctic Monkeys is actually one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yep, mine too.
They're my second favorite band. I said this on Twitter. Led Zeppelin is number 1. And Arctic Monkeys is number 2. So this is like huge for me.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I feel like I've been waiting my entire life to do something like this.
Right? I know. Now is the moment to shine.
I know. When like the 10-year anniversary for their sophomore album, My Favorite Worst Nightmare, came out.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
oh my God.
Gotta talk about this.
I know. Yeah, so it's 10 years old. It came out on April 24th, 2007. And
God, that was 10 years ago.
It is actually ridiculous. I feel so old, because it's like, I mean, every time I talk about an anniversary on this podcast, it's just like, it reminds me of like kind of like the good old days. Yeah. Because like I was like, we were kids, so like we didn't have to worry about, you know, coming into work, clocking in. Yeah. Just like, actually, I mean, I love writing about music, but it was nice back then to just like enjoy it for what it was.
Be a fan.
Yeah.
Like without any sort of let's deconstruct
let's
something.
Like write this think piece about it. Like like those were just chiller moments of my life. Yeah. So do you remember the first time you were introduced to the band? I have like a huge backstory, but
I'm so excited to hear this.
Yeah, you could go first.
Well, I think a lot of people in my high school were listening to it.
Yeah.
Well, you know this. I grew up in Brooklyn, so, you know, I don't know. Just a lot of people were listening to it, and I think the first time I heard them was I listened to A Certain Romance off of their first album.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what is this? And, you know, I had, you know, as every teenager does, just so much angst at the time.
Sure. Oh, the angst was high,
and they
girl.
were just, I think they emulated that so well on the first album. And so that was, 2006. And so I kind of got introduced to them a year later, I guess in 2007. And then immediately afterwards, this album, My Favorite Worst Nightmare came out. So that's kind of how I think I got introduced to them. How about you? I'm excited.
All right. So, I was definitely in my emo phase, and like I didn't know like what I was doing with my life, and I was just like so like,
I know. They're the best in an existential crisis.
Yeah, seriously. And then okay, so summer 2006, I always call that summer like my musical awakening, because that's the summer where I was introduced to Arctic Monkeys, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, like all these like super cool rock people. Yeah. So like that's when I like broke away from like the emo rock with like fucking like Hawthorne Heights and like Taking Back Sunday, Hoobastank, Story of the Year. Story of the Year is still one of my favorite bands. But like I broke out from emo to like more like 70s rock and like grunge and Britpop. Yeah, so like that was a moment I was like, holy shit, like I never heard of this music before, and like I fell in love. So yeah, it was summer 2006. I was going to summer school because I was a nerd, so I went to Exeter for extra credits. Awesome. Yeah, because I wanted extra credits, you know, for my college application or whatever. Yeah. So I went to summer school, and I
was thinking of going there too.
So really, it was such a. I'm still like friends with a lot of people there. Oh wow. Yeah, even like 11 years later, which is crazy. But yeah, so I was in summer school, and the room next to me in like our dorm room, her name is Leslie. Shout out to Leslie. She was listening to Whatever People Say I Am. Mm-hmm. That's What I'm Not. And I heard I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. I was like, what is this? Like I didn't know who Arctic Monkeys was, and I was like, this is fucking dope.
I know.
Yeah, so she was the one to introduce me to the Arctic Monkeys, and like I fell in love with them. Yeah. And then since that first album, like I've just been watching them ever since.
Yeah. So. I think what I like about them is the way Alex Turner writes is phenomenal. It's this like lyrical, but it's like this lyrical sort of acrobatics where he's just bending and breaking different
and
words,
like creating like different images, and like he's so witty.
I think he emulates a lot of I guess one of his influencers is John Cooper Clarke, which is this British poet, and they sort of have the same kind of cadence, this like nonchalant sort of
and like his accent, like he doesn't try to put down his accent, like he breaks that Sheffield accent so much. I
think that too. And I think at the time, to me, I mean, I just think the simplicity of certain songs and the themes sort of you know, just like looking at different girls, like I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, just looking at different,
such a simple concept, but it's like,
which I think I related to a lot more, because I just felt like it was more honest than, you know, like popping bottles of champagne in the club.
It was like more relatable.
That was, to me, I don't know, maybe at the time I was just kind of like, no one understands me, and you know, just kind of like
same here,
in this sweaty teen malaise, and so that was why I liked them.
Yeah, like I definitely like fell in love like as soon as I heard them. Like I'm so grateful. I mean, I'm sure like I would have heard of them like after, like, because this was my this was me going to sophomore year, but like that it was special to me because that was a summer like that kind of like wanted me to like go into music. So like I kind of attribute them to like helping me figure out my path. So
shout out Arctic Monkeys.
Shout out Arctic Monkeys. Like if it wasn't for y'all, I probably wouldn't be writing right now. So yeah,
you heard it here first.
You heard it here first, guys. So we kind of dove into what made us big fans, but this album, trying to think the first time that I heard it, I was a sophomore in high school, and I feel like I was watching I want to say it was Fuse, actually, because Fuse back in the day, like we used to like show a lot of like rock music and stuff. So I think that's where like I first started hearing like Brainstorm and like Teddy Picker, like the videos and stuff. But then of course I picked up the album.
I don't really remember when I first heard it. I just remember, really liking it. And
yeah,
obviously, but sort of, I think just the actual context of this album is really interesting. Like, so whatever people say, That's What I'm Not, fastest selling UK album
like
in history.
They crushed the chart, which is
also
ridiculous.
Apart from the fact, which I think is really interesting, is that they were one of the first bands that kind of revolutionized the idea of putting music online.
Yeah.
So the people kind of knew their music before any sort of studio recorded album was out. Like, people would go to their shows and already know the songs, which I think was also kind of incredible. So obviously this album, there's a lot to live up to for the second album. There's so much pressure.
I mean, it came out a year later, but like they didn't have that sophomore slump at all. Yeah. Like they got, if anything, of course they got even bigger.
Yeah, I think they definitely sort of, so the first album was very much about being a teenager. And it was
very like sarcastic. Like it was kind of, I think they were very shady on that first album. Yeah. Like super sarcastic. Like
the shade is everywhere.
I feel real. Like. Yeah. But like that was like the first introduction of like how like dry their humor was.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, coming into this second album, it's like, I'm gonna go with this analogy right now. I hope you're ready. It's kind of like Britney Spears's "I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman," where they're not yet. They're not young anymore.
Yeah, because I think they were been through like 21 or so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in the music industry, you know, they're sort of, they understand like what's happening. Yeah. But they're not old enough yet to be called old timers, like or something. They're not. Yeah.
They didn't like fully solidify themselves in like the music biz.
It's kind of like being in your early 20s. Yeah. I feel like. Just kind of
I like that analogy. I mean, I like anything with Britney Spears.
But I was just thinking about it and I was like, it's very much describing early 20s, just feeling like everything but nothing at the same time. I know that sounds really pretentious, but
no, it makes sense. And I feel like this album kind of caught me off guard, not in a bad way, but I think the first album, it was more like laid back and the beats like weren't so heavy and intense, but then when you press play on Favorite Worst Nightmare, you're like, holy shit.
Well, that's because I feel like they start with Brainstorm.
They started Brainstorm and they end with 505. So it's just like a height of like peak intensity, then like simmers down a bit, which I think is cool. Like the way that they did the track list is perfect. I love when artists like do a track list right.
Yeah, I think it also like perfectly sort of. Well, I think, Brainstorm starts where, A Certain Romance, which I think is the last song on there. Yeah.
It kind of picks back up.
Yeah, picks back up where we left off. And 505 kind of starts their sort of psychedelic,
like Humbug. Because Humbug came out. Stoner Bug, that's what the album should have been called. It should have been called Stoner Bug.
Nobody can talk today.
Because they work with Josh Homme.
Yeah.
So like that was like, I feel like they're so transitional with their sounds and stuff. So but so we're gonna actually break down every single song because that's what I did. I did that with Christina last week. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it with this album. All right, so first up is I always called it Brainstorm, but I didn't realize it was Brainstorm until like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, because
it was like named after a guy that they met backstage in Tokyo.
Japan.
Yeah. So it was like named after him.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that it was called Brainstorm.
Yeah. I mean, because like I think your eye tricks you because like the I and the A are like right next to each other.
Well, yeah, and in that song, it's also the misheard lyric is what? See you later, elevator.
Yeah, but I think it's see you later, innovator. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of dualities there.
Yeah, I mean, because his Turner accent is just so heavy, but I love it. He's like Bay AF, but okay, so Brainstorm. That song is intense as hell. Like
it is very aggressive.
It kind of kicks you in the chest, like because you didn't expect them just to go like so heavy with like the crazy like Matt Helder's like not guitar, his drums, and it is a rager. Like if you ever see it in concert, like have you seen them in concert?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them twice. I want them to come back though. Guys, if you're listening to this, they haven't been in New York I think for like 4 years.
I'm ready.
Crazy.
I'm ready for another show.
Same. And then ready for another album, but that's another story.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but yeah, Brian Storm kicks off the album, and then it goes into Teddy Picker, which is also that was the 3rd single. Yeah,
this is sort of like the song that is making jabs at the music industry.
Yeah. I mean, it's just brilliant. Like, I love that even though they were so green in the industry, they didn't give a shit about, like, pinpointing, like, what was wrong and, like, calling things out. So I think that was pretty dope.
I think there's also kind of this, like, obsessiveness, like, you know, with any person in, like, their early 20s or, you know, late teens, with being real, just not...
for sure.
being a poser. And I think I think Alex Turner kind of deals with that theme often.
He still does.
Often. And I think for sure Teddy Picker is just trying to, you know, trying to kind of reckon with that and, you know, like scorn sort of these like professional pretenders and stuff like that.
Love it. All right, so next up is D is for Dangerous. That's not one of my favorite songs on it.
That's where they got the name for this album.
Yeah, because it says Favorite Worst Nightmare in the lyrics. But it didn't really stick with me, that song.
Yeah, I mean, it's
good, but it's not like one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it kind of felt like maybe more of a filler, but
yeah.
I mean, I enjoy it as much as I enjoy kind of.
Yeah, but all right, so next up is Balaclava. I love that song.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very fun to dance to.
Yeah, it's also really dark.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, they have so many hidden messages in their music. It's like you have to really listen to it to see.
It's about sort of like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like about an armed robbery.
I think so. Let me look at the lyrics.
It's about this kind of like armed robbery, but it's kind of this about love as well.
Yeah. It is an affair described like a robbery.
Yeah.
That's what Genius is telling me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what it is. I still don't know what the hell a balaclava is. What is a balaclava? What is that, people? I feel like Turner makes up words as well. What is a balaclava? I'm going to look this up. It is, a close-fitting garment covering the whole. Oh, it's like that's what that's called?
Yeah. What's it called? I thought it was like Vampire Weekend has that song, the Horchata song.
Yeah.
And they also have that. Yeah. It's about like wearing, it's kind of like a ski mask.
That's what I just called it, a ski mask. I didn't know like it had an actual name.
Yeah.
Okay, well the more you know, people, the more you know.
Yeah.
All right. So that's that. Fluorescent Adolescent is next, and that's their
seminal song.
I know. It's like the quintessential festival song to perform.
Yeah. And it's also about I find it interesting that the song is about kind of like losing your innocence and kind of
it's like he's talking about a woman who is kind of
just this middle-aged woman who's drab.
Yeah.
Which is like, how do you know this, Alex Turner?
He's just in his head, I guess. But or maybe he was with the middle-aged woman, who knows? But she's kind of like reflecting on, damn, like I had it good back in the day. Now I can't really get the guys how I used to. But because what do you say? You used to get it in your fishnets, but now you just get it in your nightdress. I'm like, damn.
Well,
that is a burn.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's just I feel like it's interesting that he decided to do it through the viewpoint of this kind of like middle-aged woman.
Yeah, definitely interesting. All right, next up is Only Ones Who Know. I always skip that song.
Oh, I really like this song.
Really?
I think
I don't,
because it
grabbed me.
Yeah, I think this is like one of his one of their really just like kind of slower ballads, and I think like he dabbles with this a lot more in this album with that song, and also 505.
Yeah, I prefer 505 over Only Ones Who Know.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's a really nice song. It's just it's romantic, and I feel like it's one of the first times that you see him kind of experiencing romance as it's happening to him versus like from afar.
Yeah,
which is
like he's not being like a voyeur, like he's actually experiencing
it, which is what the first album is sort of all about, just kind of being an observer.
All right, so we are going to talk about Do Me a Favor. This is not only my favorite song on the album, it's like one of my favorite songs of them, like
really talk about it
time. Oh my god, what do I say?
You know what? It's really hard to talk about things that you like.
Yeah,
because it's really hard to describe.
Because like, especially when I do like album reviews and stuff, I'm like, how do I put my feelings into words that make sense to someone else who's reading it? Yeah. So, I don't know. I just feel like this song, I think Turner was being the most emotionally vulnerable that he's ever been. Just like talking about the heartbreak and like the torture of ending a relationship, and like it was just very raw to me, and I don't know why I related it to so much, because I mean I was 14 when that song came out. Like, I wasn't in a relationship, but it's like I felt like the anger and like the angst and like the kiss off, like there's so many emotions like thrown all throughout this song. And
definitely
because like it starts out very haunting and slow, and then it builds up to like a gradual, like, get the fuck out type of thing. So, it's one of my faves. I love that song. All right, next up is This House is a Circus.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I love that song. I think it's such a ridiculous song.
It's kind of wacky, but it works.
It's so fun. They do it so fun live. And I don't know. I just think it was in high school, I feel like it was a good party song. I don't know. You just like, just like really good head banging, kind of, I don't give a shit about anything kind of song, and it's just a really berserk song.
Yeah. As he says, no.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so next up is If You Were There, Beware.
Oh man,
that's also a great song.
This is one of my favorites too.
It's so well written. Like, I'm looking at
this one is all about him talking about the media.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Okay. He's talking about us.
I feel like they have, as most artists, there is always this divide, right, about keeping a certain image, but also this level of privacy that journal, the media,
and like specifically the paparazzi too.
Yes, try to infiltrate, obviously, and so that's what he's, I guess, mad about. There's a particular part which I like, sort of at the very end of the song. He was like singing about witches. That part.
The circles of witches, ambitiously vicious they are.
Yeah, I really love that part. Because you see it. The imagery is really daunting.
Love it. I wish I could be like as great of a songwriter as he is. Like, I want to be as great of a writer, if that makes sense. Like, the way that he like captures a moment is like so amazing.
As they said in like English class all the time, show not
tell. That's always stuck in the back of my head.
Yeah, right.
Like, I could hear like my English professor being like, Bianca, show it, not tell it.
Yeah, well.
All right, so we're gonna talk about The Bad Thing.
So this is the one I always skip.
Yeah, I don't really. This is like a non-factor in my opinion.
Should we just skip it?
Yeah, we'll skip it.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, not sorry. Old Yellow Bricks. That's my jam.
Yeah.
That is my jam. I feel like, I think this, out of all the songs, like, this is the one where I like sing word for word.
Whoa.
Because like, I mean, if I'm like in my zone, like, don't let me get in my zone. Quoting my problematic fave. But it's just, I mean, if you guys don't know, Old Yellow Bricks, like, it's kind of like his take on the Wizard of Oz. Like, we're just so, like, who thinks of that? Like,
are there other songs about the Wizard of Oz?
There has to be. I know there's more. I mean, I'm just thinking of Alice in Wonderland, but there's a lot of songs that talk about Alice in Wonderland. But I feel like The Wizard of Oz isn't really, not that I know of.
I mean, there's Wicked, but that's a different.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
So.
Odella Bricks. That's a great stomper of a track.
Yeah. That's definitely a really good one.
Yeah. All right. So next up is 505.
That's my favorite song on the album.
It's so sad.
It's
so sad.
I think you were saying that Do Me a Favor is his emotionally evil. I think this one is. I think it's the very beginnings of what is going to be Humbug.
Yeah.
Which is actually my I don't know. It's my favorite album from them.
I was actually going to ask that because, like, I was toying between Humbug and AM.
Yeah. Well, AM is their most accessible. I feel like it's their most commercially.
That's an easy listen compared to their previous albums. But I don't know. I feel like Humbug was like the moment where you're like, oh,
they're adults now.
They're here to stay.
Yeah, they're adults now.
Yeah.
So I think this one is really cool. I like the sample that they did they used the organs from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I love that, and it's cool that it's from a Western. And I feel like there's a lot of 80s vibes coming out from this album in general, just kind of like with the Smiths and stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree.
So, that's actually my favorite one.
Nice. So, do you think, in retrospect, this album made an impact with what was going on with indie rock at the time? Like, you had, like, the Klaxons, Franz Ferdinand, the Kooks. Well, who else was out at that time? The Killers. Like, all these bands. But, like, do you think out of all that, like, this album stood out, like, among what was going on?
I think rock? So, but I may be biased because
same.
I was listening to them heavily. But it's interesting because I feel like the album that really got them started in the US is their most recent one.
Oh, for sure.
AM.
Yeah.
So
and I'm like, they put out other albums, but
that was this is like, again, I feel like this is their more like trying to be in the pop realm. But I think so. Did it make an impact on American music culture? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think so. Not American. I feel like probably more international.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like they were more on the wave of what was happening in the UK and like Europe and stuff. But I feel like the US, like, we're just so slow sometimes with like picking up with what's happening around the world. So
definitely,
I feel like we're a little late to the game.
Yeah,
like,
but I feel like that's funny. But it sounds like New York was on it though.
I mean, we're just trendsetters, basically. Like, we're trendsetters
amongst all the 5 boroughs.
Yeah. But I wish, like, I mean, it shouldn't have taken them 5 albums to get here. You know what I mean?
I wonder. I wonder why.
Yeah. Like, what didn't stick? Because you had, I bet you look on the dance floor, you had Whatever You Say I Am. Like, that was such a history-making album.
I mean, I think like, Enemy called them like the 5th best rock group
of like all time
or something. It was just like a crazy kind of like a.
Yeah, I mean, Enemy is always. I don't care if they're listening, but they're always like up their asses about like Arctic Monkeys. Like, they're obsessed with Alex Turner. Yeah. I'm not surprised they said that. But I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think, like, in the realm of all of their albums, like, how does it fit in? I think it was a good progression. Like, I feel like with every album they get better and better and they explore different sounds. Like, the first one was more, like I was saying, was like, that was very like quintessential like British rock, I think. And then with Favorite Worst Nightmare is a little bit more hard hitting, more drums, more like guitar and bass. Like, it was more like in your face type of music. And then Humbug, that's when they licked up with Josh Homme. Yeah, that was more like chill, like 70s vibey music.
Yeah.
And then Suck It and See, that's like my least favorite.
I think that's mostly everyone.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was like most experimental. Like I don't know what they were trying to go for with that album. But
that was a weird. It was like a transitional album.
It was like the dark horse of their.
There are a few good songs on that one, though.
There's some, but like,
I
don't listen to it as much. And then AM, of course, is more like mainstream type of sound, but it's still good.
I think Favorite Worst Nightmare was just a really good sort of transitional album for them from the first one where they are sort of teenagers and just starting out and then Humbug where they are quote unquote like more mature or whatever. And so I think this is them trying to figure it out and trying to sort of battle fame and the media
and like having girlfriends and stuff.
Navigating all the price of having success, I guess.
I agree. Well, guys, #Besterday, let us know what you thought of the Favorite Worst Nightmare album. I'm glad that we're bringing in some rock in here because I'm actually like, if you guys don't know, I'm a big rock music fan. Not like what's happening now in rock. Like I like when we were teenagers, like those type of bands that were coming out, but not really right now. But rock music definitely is like a great part of why I'm a writer. So if you guys want to hear more rock stuff, let me know and I will do it. But for now, I'm sticking to pop for now. So if you guys don't say anything, I'm gonna talk about pop for the rest of my life. But yeah. So now we're gonna talk about the song of the week. All right, so we're back with the song of the week. So this is the segment.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to do this. Yeah,
because I always I think it's so fun because it's always cool to hear like what the co-host has to say. Because they if you guys know, they never like tell me what they're gonna pick.
I took a really long time trying to figure out. I narrowed it down to like 3, but I have my one.
I mean, it took me like literally 5 minutes because I always pick it like right before we record, which is crazy, but.
Impulsive, I like that.
Yeah, but all right, so hit me with what you got.
So Paramore's coming back.
Oh,
4 years, no music. They're coming back, and like Lil Uzi Vert, I'm a big fan, and was a really big fan of Riot at the time, which turns 10 this summer.
Just crazy.
Big album for me. Like I was listening to them when I was listening to the Arctic Monkeys, and I don't care. I love that album. I don't care what anybody else says.
But the haters.
Yeah, right? Like, don't add me on Twitter. Come on. And so my favorite, so I'm just going to hit you with Misery Business.
It's a classic.
It's the classic Paramore song.
Yeah.
Do you remember the music video?
Yeah, when they were like, Haley had like her phoenix colored hair.
Yes.
And like
there was this mean girl, and she was just cutting people's hair.
But she looked like she wasn't in high school. Like she was.
No, she was definitely. Yeah, I was like, who is this girl? Just like coming through, cutting people's hair, kissing other people's boyfriends,
like,
hitting people in the arm. It was very triggering at the time.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so that's my pick.
Yeah. All right. So mine is, I'm going to stick with the rock theme. So this was a little before I discovered Arctic Monkeys, but it's still part of that indie rock like UK scene. It's Franz Ferdinand.
Whoa.
Take Me Out.
Dude. Wait, I have a funny story about this.
Oh my God. You go. Wait, I want to hear this. But okay, so I chose this song because I think, this was, like I said, I was very emo kid, but this was when I was kind of discovering more, like, forms of rock music. And I love Franz Ferdinand when they first came out. I haven't been keeping up with them since, but that first album, like, their debut, it came out in 2004.
Yeah.
And, like, it was such, like...
It was a good one.
Bomb album. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean... that you couldn't escape that song. It was on radio. It was, like, on everywhere. MTV all the time and stuff, so...
Yeah.
That was super exciting for me, and it was on Guitar Hero too, which I loved, and I played it all the time.
Right. So it was my ringtone for the longest amount of time.
That is hilarious.
Do you know that? So like it's the guitar, the guitar part.
Yeah.
So it was that or Santa Goals, but like I was switching. I was like whatever fits my mood.
Yeah.
For the like when the ringtone kind of like emulated who you were.
Yeah, like the showed off your personality.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So mine one day was take me out, and for sure, it was like the first day of school or something, and my phone went off with that
gosh.
and it was on full volume.
Oh no.
And I was so embarrassed. It's not that funny when you look at it, but at the time, you know, it was you had to have been there, I think.
Okay. I'm trying to think. My first I think I was talking about this on Twitter. I talk about everything on Twitter, but my first ringtone, it was I had this was before AT&T it was like Singular, and I had a Singular flip phone. It was like a silver one. It was like so basic, but my ringtone was it was the Franchise Boys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I think they like me.
Wow.
Oh, I think they like me. And
Good
like
stuff.
that was my jam. Because I was a bird back then, so like that was like the rap song of the moment.
Oh,
and I was like, I'm so fresh to death right now with this song as my ringtone. So that was my first. Yeah, it was my first ringtone song. I think I had, what other ones did I have? I had I want to say one was TLC. I don't remember the actual song though. And I had like a lot of dance hall songs as my ringtone.
That's awesome. And
yeah, it would be fun to like recollect like favorite ringtone songs. Yeah,
mine were Take Me Out.
Yeah.
And that Santa Gold song with
what, LES
no
artists?
The one with, it's kind of like
oh man, oh my god, is it Creator?
No, it's like Go Ahead.
Oh,
you know you want it.
that
one. What's
one
that
second.
one?
I'm gonna like look this up because I it's on like tip of my. Is it Shove It?
No.
It's from my first album, right?
Yeah.
You see it? No. We're looking at the Spotify right now, guys.
Oh, but
was it like a deep cut, like a bonus track?
Oh, You'll Find a Way.
You Find a Way. Oh, okay. Oh, that was like the slower song, like the mid tempo.
That like weird melody.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's
I also really love
song.
Unstoppable on that.
Yes, and I loved when Drake sampled it too.
I literally know all the words to that song. It's
girl,
really
if that ever comes on karaoke, I would like go full on Wheelchair Jimmy in that bitch. Like I love that song.
All the words.
Yeah. Oh man, Drizzy Drake when back in the day when he was actually good. But okay, wow. So that's a wrap for this episode. Why am I so shady? Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, guys, before I get too deep in my shady pool. But hashtag Besterday on Twitter and Instagram. You know, keep me updated on what you want to hear every week. I love hearing your feedback, what we can improve, and what you want me to talk about. And also send us suggestions, rate us on iTunes, all that yummy stuff. And remember to follow myself, Bianca and Rogue, on Twitter, and follow Rachel
at Rachel Sonis 1.
All right, guys. I remember what was it back in the day? Like, you used to say like I won. Like that was like goodbye. Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.